there. Are you enjoying your stay at Toshi's place?
We've put together this sightseeing guide to help you make the most of your time in Kamakura.
Today, let's talk about Komachi Street.
Welcome to a deep dive. Today, we're stepping right into the heart of Kamakura, exploring one of its most famous spots. We're talking about Komachi Street, and we're using that great sightseeing guide made especially for you folks staying at Toshi's place.
That's right. And we're not just going to tell you it's a shopping street. We want to get into why it's often called, the face of Kamakura. We'll look at its location, the vibe, the amazing food, obviously, the shops, and even a bit of its surprising history.
Okay, sounds great. Let's jump right into this really vibrant street. So, picture this. You come out of Kamakura Station, the east exit, and bam, right there, stretching out in front of you is Komachi Street. It's what, about 360 meters long, runs straight towards the big Sugaoka Hachimangu Shrine. It actually runs parallel to Wakamiya Oji Avenue, which is, the really grand main approach. But Komachi has its own unique feel.
Oh, absolutely. Feel is the word. The guide calls it bustling and vibrant. And honestly, that's almost an understatement. Think about it. Over 250 shops crammed into that space. It just buzzes with energy. It feels really dynamic, like a living thing. And you get this great mix of old traditions meeting modern stuff. It's not just side by side. It feels like they're creating something new together.
Yeah, you definitely feel that right when you walk through the entrance. There's this big red torii gate, right? Kind of marks the start. And it even has that helpful sign, shortcut to Hachimangu. The second you step past it, whoosh, you're just swept up in this river of people. It's such a mix, too. Tourists from everywhere, locals running errands, school kids on trips, just packed, but moving,
Right, and the street itself kind of encourages that flow. It's one way for cars, yeah, but it's really built for walking. The guide uses the term human scale, which I think is perfect. It's designed for strolling, for looking around, so even when it's super busy, you feel like you can take your time, browse, discover things. It invites exploration.
Okay, let's get to the main event for a lot of us, the food. Because, wow, Komachi Street is absolutely famous as a gourmet hotspot. Seriously, the second you start walking, the smells, the sights, it's just incredible.
It really is. The variety is just amazing. You've got your traditional Japanese sweets like wagashi, those beautiful little artistic ones, and tons of matcha stuff, of course. Matcha soft serve, matcha cakes, and dango, those grilled rice dumplings on a stick. Delicious.
Dango. And you absolutely have to talk about the local specialty shirasu. That's the tiny white bait fish from right here, the Shonan Coast. People know shirasudan, the rice bowl, but here they get so creative. The guide mentions shirasu croquettes.
Yes, they were fantastic. Crispy outside, creamy inside with the little fish, and even shirasu pizza. Talk about mixing things up, right?
Shirasu pizza. See, that's that blend you were talking about.
Yeah.
And then there are just tons of snacks that are perfect for photos, like the daibutsuyaki little cakes shaped like the Great Buddha. So cute.
Oh, yeah, those are popular. And the black bamboo charcoal soft serve, that looks striking. Plus matcha tiramisu, that jiggly warabi mochi.
Oh, the warabi mochi, yes. It doesn't stop there. Roasted sweet potato things. Hot taiyaki fish cakes filled with bean paste, curry buns, gelato, waffles, crepes. It's almost overwhelming.
It really is. And don't forget to look out for the little cafes tucked away in old traditional houses, the Kaminka cafes. They often have special seasonal treats you won't find at other times. It adds another reason to keep coming back, honestly. You could spend days just eating here.
Okay. Maybe take a break from eating for a second. Because while the food is a huge draw, Komachi Street is definitely more than just, an outdoor food court.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic spot for finding souvenirs, too, right? Crafts and unique Kamakura things.
Absolutely. The shopping is just as varied. The guide mentions some really special local crafts, like Kamakura Bori lacquerware. That's quite distinctive. They carve the wood first, then lacquer it, so you get these beautiful textures, bowls, trays, even little accessories.
Oh, I like the sound of that. And handmade washi paper, the stationery. That always makes a lovely gift. And furoshiki, those wrapping cloths with the gorgeous Japanese patterns, so useful and pretty.
Exactly. You'll find delicate kanzashi hairpins too, the really ornate ones. But also, modern things like character goods, fun little toys. So, like the guide says, there really is something for everyone. Kids, adults, people looking for traditional art, people wanting something fun. It's all mixed together. Those traditional cafes dotted between the shops just add to the whole browsing experience. It feels very complete.
It's easy to just see this busy street today and think, okay, tourist spot. But understanding its history really adds another layer, doesn't it? It helps explain why it feels like the face of Kamakura, even though it wasn't always the central hub.
That's a really interesting part of the story the guide brings up. Turns out this path started as something much simpler. Seto Koji, it was called. Basically, just a path through farmland. Kamakura's history goes way back, but this specific street wasn't initially a big deal.
So the big change was the train station. The guide mentions the Yokosuka line opening in 1889. That seems key.
Definitely. That brought modernization and people right to this area. But here's a fascinating bit. Back in the actual Kamakura period, like 12th to 14th centuries, the main commercial street was somewhere else entirely. It was called Komachi Oji, east of Wakamiya Oji. That place was known for stuff like Sujisepo Street preaching by monks, so that was the bustling center back then.
Wow. Okay, so this street's rise came much later. And a major event was the Great Kanto earthquake in 1923.
Exactly. That was devastating, but it also led to a shift. The guide explains that lots of merchants whose shops were destroyed elsewhere actually relocated here, near the station. That really cemented it as a marketplace. And as more people moved to Kamakura, built holiday homes, this street became where they shopped. That constant activity shaped its character. Even the name Komachi Street really only caught on after World War II. Before that, it was sometimes called Shin-Komachi, New Komachi.
So it's mostly a Showa-era development built on those earlier foundations. But somehow, walking down it today,
Yeah.
you still get a sense of old Kamakura. It's like the history is infused in the modern energy.
Yeah, it's a strange and wonderful mix. And experiencing it changes throughout the year, too. Spring with the cherry blossoms nearby is stunning, and autumn with all the fall colors around Hachimangu and Wakamiya Oji. That draws huge crowds. It really amps up the atmosphere.
Right. And all those crowds, plus all that amazing food, brings up a really important point about manners, how to enjoy it properly. The guide is pretty clear. Eating while walking arukitabe is basically a no-go on Komachi Street.
That's super important to know. It's really frowned upon, partly because it's just so crowded. Spills, bumping into people, litter. It can become a problem. The best way is to stop. Find a little spot, maybe an eat-in area in the shop, or just stand aside for a moment. Or, as we'll discuss, take it back with you. And trash is key too. Use the bins if they're there, otherwise pack it out. It's about everyone being mindful so the street stays pleasant.
Good advice. And speaking of stopping, the guide points out there aren't many public benches right on the street itself. So popping into a cafe or using a shop's seating area is probably your best bet if you need a rest or want to eat something right away.
True. It also makes you appreciate some of the improvements they've made, like putting the power lines underground back in 2013. It really cleans up the view, doesn't it? Lets you see the buildings better, enhances that historical vibe. Kamakura City has these aesthetic rules, trying to keep things looking harmonious, which is nice.
Okay, so we've got the location, the buzz, the food, the shopping, the history, the etiquette. Now let's bring it back to you, staying at Toshi's place.
Yeah.
Because the guide highlights a really cool advantage you have.
Yes. This connects directly to that no eating while walking rule. If you were just visiting for the day, you might feel rushed or you might skip buying something because you can't eat it right then. But staying nearby, at Tochi's place, that changes everything. You can buy all those amazing things, the hirasu snacks, the delicate sweets, the daibutsuyaki, and just bring them back.
And that feels like such a luxury, doesn't it? Escaping the crowds for a bit, heading back to your room. Then you can actually savor everything properly. Take your time, enjoy the smells, the tastes in peace and quiet. No juggling bags on a crowded street.
Exactly. It turns the food experience from something potentially hurried into something you can truly appreciate. Maybe you share it, maybe you just relax with it. It's like bringing a little piece of that vibrant street back to enjoy in your own calm space. That's something a day trip just doesn't allow for in the same way. It really rewards staying overnight.
Komachi Street really does live up to being the face of Kamakura, just like the guide says. It's where history and modern life and amazing food all smashed together in this really energetic, fascinating way. Super easy to get to from the station, leads right to Hachimangu. It's just an essential Kamakura experience.
It really is. It's designed for people, for exploring, for tasting, mindfully, of course. Whether you're after history or unique gifts or just want to eat incredibly well, Komachi Street definitely delivers.
And, hey, if you're staying with us at Toshi's place, you've got that secret weapon, the ability to bring those tasty discoveries back home. Well, back to your home away from home.
Which leads to maybe a final thought for you to chew on, so to speak. In a world that's often about doing things fast, about grab and go, what does it mean to consciously slow down, even in a really busy place like Komachi Street, and truly savor not just the flavors, but the place itself, its history, its atmosphere?
What did you think?
We hope you'll make even more wonderful memories at Toshi's place.